Allow me to introduce myself. My name is Don Rodrigo. To my right, this man is the only man whose EBT comes with the rewards program.
It's true. Seen it in the mail.
He is known as Mel 5K K K K K.
Okay.
Applause, hope for applause. They start chanting Matt, hope for Bill. Matt. And to my left, when cartoon characters look at the screen and ask for help, they are not talking to all of us. They are specifically talking to this man. He is known as Matt the Wrestler. And the three of us are known as the Born Haters. We are wrestling's number one mystery solving trio. We're here today at the PGTK Podcast. A lot of letters, a lot of good time.
How are you guys?
Tight.
I'm good. Yeah. End of the week, end of the work week. So yeah.
Exactly. We were when all jumped in the call, like literally at the time, like 20 minutes ago. We were crazy, perfectly doing all we're getting everything suddenly.
What's going on? Why is my link not working?
If you haven't listened to the episode with Rodrigo, I'll add the link on the show notes to see his side of the board. But for you guys, especially for with haters, like where did you guys get that call to join that faction? We'll sort of.
Well, we got of course, I guess it quietly began as we started training. We kind of built that dynamic among ourselves, I guess, Mel, if you'd agree, like in our own friendship that we built in training and coming up. But yeah, when it was right, kind of like Mel said, when COVID got really bad and everything really hit, the world shut down, everybody stuck in their homes, all of us just kind of figuring out day to day what was going to happen. And then here comes Rod. Don Rodrigo himself giving me a call saying, hey, I have an idea for a show and a wrestling trio and this and that, these certain characters, and I would really love for you to be a part of it. I feel like you fit one of the characters that I want, and I want you to be in on it. And that's just basically how it went for me. And of course, I'm just so open to anything and malleable, like I'm ready to do anything. And I went from almost hanging it up to being where I'm at now. Yeah.
And we'll still talking to those we asked you, and what was that boy? What was that like the convincing? Where okay, I want to join the haters because you're down for it. You're open for it at that point.
Yeah, and also too to join that. Of course, Rod pitched it to me, and I'm very big on like obscure comedy and the kind of in general the type of humor we do. I watch a lot of Adult Swim, things like that, all kinds of stuff. So I just love that kind of offbeat humor and just period in my day to day. I love it. So like when Rod approached me with the script and the concept for the show and then who my character would be, and then it just kind of, I was like, yeah, of course. I was like, because for me, it's just like, why not go all into it? If you're gonna give wrestling your all, no matter what it is, you're gonna just like, let's do it, go full force, let's give it a show, give it a shot. So that was when he pitched all that to me. That's when I was like, why? Just basically, why the hell not? Why the hell not? Yeah. Why not just give it a go and see what happens?
Yeah.
For me, it was a little less cordial. He fell out of the blue, middle of COVID. Everybody's just kind of getting called out or dying or somewhere in between. Rod just gives me a text and was like, hey, are you joining the faction or not? I was like, faction?
That's straightforward.
Friendship, Mel, is that friendship.
It's like, first off, yes. Second off, what faction? What are we talking about? Who's in it? Like, where like you talking Bullet Club? What are we doing? Hand signal yet? What's going on? And he was just like, "Hey, I'm talking to like some other people, but I'll let you know a little bit down the line." And then 3 months passed, and he's like, "All right, I wrote the first episode." And I was like, "Wait, we're doing episodes now? What's going on? Who's what? I haven't got booked in months. What's going on? I'm out of the loop." And he basically just kind of gave me the rundown of what he wanted the Born Haters to be. He wanted Matt to be the overly smiley Hulk, but at the same time, like, not Hulk smash, more of a Hulk. Sorry, my bad. You know. And then he pitched to me my character. He was like, "You seen the player haters ball, right?" And I was like, "Of course." Like, I'm black. Like, dude, I've seen the player. I watched it yesterday. Like, of course. He was like, "You're Charlie Murphy's character," and and from that moment on, like, the first couple episodes that we did, I would always do this nervous little shake. And even like when we went to shows, like I would do the dance, but every time I'd be in the corner just shaking my shoulders, it's because Charlie Murphy would shake his shoulders
Yeah.
in the show.
Yep.
So I was just like, he wants me to be Charlie Murphy. I'm gonna be the best damn Charlie Murphy that's ever been.
Buff nasty. What? Cassie. Like he's like to copy that. I had to think about you now. Like, oh, you know, when it did this, I'll probably be I'll still be bug nasty now.
And honestly, I thought he wanted me to be beautiful because like I started growing out my dreads, and I was like, I can come out with the spray ball and just be like,
How could you see that? But for you guys, like, how has like, of course, with the fashion or one thing, but especially with how you guys were trained, what was that like for you guys to learn the ropes? When you guys started starting to like go on your own, and especially in your wrestling styles.
I mean, I don't know. It was definitely it's an experience. Like wrestling, we hear it from Mel will agree. We hear it from our trainers from day one. Wrestling is not for everybody. You know, you want to be a part of it, you want to do it, that's great. But then you go in and you really dive in and you discover what it really takes to do this, and how far you have to push yourself and everything. So it's not for everyone. But it was for me. It was a very hard journey. I'm going to be honest. I had injuries. I actually ruptured 2 discs on my lower back. I was just about to like going into taking my gauntlet, and then I remember too. I had ruptured those discs a little bit before, and then I basically fought through the pain to kind of finish my training and take my gauntlet so I could ensure I graduated. And then after that, it was kind of had to take some time off, but the experience itself in learning my craft and wrestling, that was very interesting. It was the amount of people that have AAPW has produced, that have come out there. One of the biggest names being Ricky Starks, of course, and how, wrestling
Right.
with him and such, and all people like that. And our trainer, George De La Isla, and the things, his knowledge as a journeyman in wrestling, to Mexico, Japan, and then over in California and basically all over the country. And then Ray Campos as well, him working CMLL and all that and other promotions, and the knowledge they passed on. And then in developing our own style around that, it was crazy. For me, and I take it as we learned like it's very crazy. We learned like an older school, more traditional style of wrestling. At least it's what it felt like. And then, so we learned how to make basic cake, and then we learned how to make cake with all the icing and fixings. That's what it was. So like we learned the basics, and then we went into the world. And then for me, it was like, oh wow, there's like 20 different ways to do things. Oh, okay. Oh, like it was just kind of like that. So the absorption part for me was really hard. But other than that, developing my own style too just came about from the people I loved. Like I came up watching Yokozuna and other big men, and I would see them and be like, well, if a guy like that can move like that, I can move. I can make it happen too.
with me, it was more of a, I like that. I'm gonna take that. That's mine now. So, like training, I would at the start it was kind of natural because I was always an athlete. I was always in football. I was in amateur wrestling for like a year, maybe two. Tried basketball, but I was short, so didn't work. But it always like kind of came a little bit natural to me because if someone telling me how to do something and what to do and how they want to look, I'm gonna try my best to do it that exact way. Even though Rod would say try is the key word in that sentence, but all you have to do is try. But as time would go on, like Matt said, our trainers, George De La Isla, Papa Don Campos, and everybody that we would train with, they showed us how to make a cake, like basic cake, vanilla, no icing, just the cake itself. And then once you got your solo bookings outside of the school, that's when you decide to put the icing, you put the decorations, you put some sprinkles here and there. That's when you kind of mold into your own style. And it took me a long time to get comfortable making my own like style, like being in the ring with someone you've never been with and being like, all right, you guys have 10 minutes, do something, bye. And trying to make something good or delicious or something that the crowd will remember at the end of the day. It took a long time for me to get kind of acclimated to that. But at the end of the day, like once I got used to it, I started doing some crazy shit. Yeah, I was like, let me do a shooting star press. Let me try that out, and then I would just kill myself every time.
So I was saying that, and he was like, you were starting to do that frequently, and Don's like, hey, stop doing that.
Yeah, exactly. And like sometimes he's right, sometimes I gotta slow it down, just kind of stop doing the crazy flips because the basic stuff looks good enough to where it doesn't need it. And that's still something that like I try to limit myself on, but at the same time I'm like, man, that would really look cool right there if I just did that little flip.
See, yeah, that's hilarious, dude. Even for me, like I remember coming up and even in that same line, watching all these like insane moves being done, and then wanting to try all these moves and get good at all these crazy moves and everything. But then later on, like with the Matt the Wrestler thing and everything, realizing like it took me almost 10 years to realize like I don't have to do all these flips and all this other stuff to get over to do wrestling as well as other people,
Right.
I'm sure there's the athleticism side of it all, and there's so many gifted, talented people out there that like just deserve so much more acknowledgement than they're getting. But it's still at the end of the day, it's like people are doing some of the same moves and such. I mean, you want to do those things too, but then you kind of have to, for me anyway, it was that where I had to come to the realization that like I don't need this like endless arsenal of moves. For me, you see me do my matches, and typically they're pretty plain with the slams and things that I do, and the thing, nothing crazy too much, and that's just kind of built over. Not that I can't, I want to do more of the athletic stuff too, but it's hard to find somebody that can base for a almost 300-pound guy.
The gear, yeah.
I know, right? Yeah. It's funny too because I sit there, I'm always like, man, I really hope one day I get to work like somebody who's just a little bit more my size in singles matches. I hope for that opportunity to come because it would be nice to show more of what I can do. Yeah.
Honestly, Matt versus Keith Lee is a dream match. So
I would love that. I would love it. I would love to have a singles match against Brick too. That would be a lot of fun. I really, really would.
Oh my god, that would be amazing. Yeah, he will talk about the grapple test. I was thinking about grapple test. We had this before the recording, and I'm like, Rick and Matt would be great on a full quest if they do one in the future. And I'm like, this is when you were facing you're facing Kiefer, and I'm like, man, maybe Kiefer's a good size to like Rick. People would
Another one I would really love to have another go at. I mean, a singles match would be Sam Stackhouse. I would love to go because also that happened because I even posted something about it on Facebook or just like as a little nod to it, but it was from that memory where we had that match mill over at Pinballs when Inspire was coming back, and we had that match against Luigi and Sam Stackhouse and Phil Noir, And then I got to do that big spine buster on Sam Stackhouse, and it's just such a vivid memory for me. And I've ever since then, when I do things like that to people, it's like I want that singles opportunity against that person. So yeah, so I would love to have that.
That'd be great. Now I was thinking about that too with Inspire. Like when you guys had your debut, this is like, hey, you're on the heart for both of you guys. What was that feeling? And I know that there's a lot of bookings about how your work has been really been well known in Inspire circles. Like, well, what was your debut like for you guys?
You want to go first, Mel?
I'll go first this time. So when we got the call that we were going to be on Inspired for Mania Weekend, in my mind, I was just like, first off, I get to go to Mania Weekend where there's nothing but wrestling, and I'm the one that watches all of the wrestling. I'm gonna be in heaven. Thank you, God. You know, like, but then once we actually got there, we were just like, okay, settle the expectations. We got 8 minutes for a 6-man. What do we do? Let me get my figures. Let me get my figures strapped. Rod's gonna talk about drumline. Match gonna smile and look pretty.
Yeah.
And we didn't think that match was gonna be as memorable as it is, and we definitely didn't think the clip was gonna go viral.
Yeah.
But at the same time, like, it was just almost undescribable. But all I can say was a blessing to be a part of it.
Yeah, I guess from my end of that, yeah, when with everything we had been doing already before and the work we were putting in to kind of get up on, and Inspire and get noted and everything that was coming on and getting noticed. And then when we found out we got that, I got to admit, just like Mel, it just like blew my mind. I had to take a minute and sit down because literally for me, it was such a big deal. Because to go from being somebody, and I say it all the time to everybody, to go from being somebody who was literally at one of the first Inspire shows, or when they were running way earlier at like Marquesa Hall, to being somebody that was in the stands and the seats watching the show and watching all these people and develop and like being taken aback by it and everything, to going from that to now being Mr. Inspire for that very promotion and getting to be that person. It's unreal. So when we got that call for that, I couldn't even believe it, that I got to be on a card with so many people that like were my peers, that I looked up to, everything like that I couldn't even believe I was in there. I felt like a child again. I was just like a child who just got the biggest dream in their life made. Yeah, it was unbelievable. And like Mel said, that match, like when you never think things like that are going to be that memorable. You honestly, in wrestling, surprises me all the time. You never know what's going to catch, what's going to blow up, or what will be memorable, and then, but the moments we make, I get as a team, and then obviously the great ones, and Luigi too as well. And on that, they have great guys as well.
Amazing.
Yeah, amazing guys. So it was unbelievable to know that we were there, and then we just got to be a part of something coming back that we've been working so hard for.
Yeah, and what was the first when Don was introduced to you guys for that first time? You guys anticipate that, or you were like just roll with the punches and see how he's not introduced?
Just roll.
because for the most part, Rod might like tell us a little bit here and there, like, hey, he literally will come up to me and Mel sometimes, like, have I ever said this have I ever called you this or said this about you or whatever, blah. And we're like, I don't think, but for the most part, it's Rod just ad-libbing on us at the time, just total improv from Rod. And we just, like me, I'm just up there smiling. Whatever he's saying, I'm just like, yeah, I'm that. Yeah, that's me. So yeah, so it's all, yeah, but that's what makes it a beautiful thing. I think that's definitely part of the magic of what makes it so impressionable on the people.
Rod just gets me.
That's true. He does.
Oh my gosh. Like, so the Black History Month thing, that was a surprise to me until like day of. He was like, hey, let's see if this wedding dress can fit you. And I was like, literally. He's like, what are you even talking about? Wedding dress? And I was like, you know what? I've learned in Rod and We Trust, he's got an idea, it's gonna work. And then he did something that was outlandish. Also, the Black History Month, that was the hardest I've ever tried not to break. And just like, I didn't forget Black History Month. You know what? Just for that, tonight, Matt is going to win for you. For Black History Month, Matt is going to beat this African American. You know what? He might just lose. I mean, it's just like the whole time I was like actually laughing. I was just like, really? Really? He's just gonna lose? So big? We're just like doing this now? You think we need a victory, Rod? No.
It's just like just all that and talk to say whatever you're done here it is.
But whatever you think,
it's just there.
And then when he came out with I'm not gonna say it just not to ruffle feathers, but when he came out with the Black Book, if you remember, he's like, yeah, we're gonna call it the Nomagon. And I was like, you're giving me the green light to say this. Like, this is past Paul censorship. All right, cool. And then when I said it, no one reacted. And then two people were like, it's just black magic. I was like, yes, that's black
You
magic.
get it. You get it.
But I'm just like thinking about it, but like throughout like the adventures that you guys got, it's always the reactions are always. I remember the Black Book too, and I'm like, okay, I see where this is going. Because probably the few people that are like, get out of here, you know, and I was thinking with this series that you guys were doing these episodes, like I'm sure it got published, it's sent out to like whatever the socials that you guys have. What was the high points when you guys were doing the episodes?
Man, Mel, there were a lot.
There were. Like, our nephew did the music video, and that was like,
Oh,
okay,
jeez.
yeah, we might get over because of this funniest thing.
Never ask me to rap anything again.
Yeah, I felt ashamed as a black man after recording. I'm supposed to be able to do this.
And then one of my favorite is of course the Halloween party too in the first season, Mel.
Yeah.
Where Rod gets possessed by the ghost of rap Macho Man Randy Savage. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
Broke his coffee table. It was worth it.
Yeah. That was wow.
My fiance is in that episode.
Yeah.
Nah.
She's in 2 episodes in the first season. She's in that one, and I think the Ron's PTSD episode.
Oh yeah.
Where he's like, everything that reminds him of white women just gives him PTSD.
Another thing, another high point, but it's one of the less recognized. But for us, it's hilarious. Was when, remember the first episode, Mel, where Rod got his neighbor in the apartment, the neighbor kid, on the episode, and then Mel has to slap this kid. And then it's and it's our first time meeting this kid who's like not like 10 years old.
Yeah. He's in the past. He broke his arm riding a scooter. And I was like, you want me to slap him so he'll fall on the ground and just walk over him.
And Rod being Rod, of course, was just like, this is, I don't remember the kid's name, but he was like, yeah, this is Mike, this is Mel, you're going to be slapping Mike. There we go. Here we go. He's good. And then it's like, okay. And it's funny because there's a lot of things like that in our history of creating the episodes where it was like that for me and Mel. I guess it really attributes to things where we would show up and we'd be like, okay, Rod, like, what are we doing today? Another great one, a really good episode I thought was the Mystery Team episode where we went to the haunted house, Mel.
The haunted house one.
Yeah.
I'm surprised that one didn't get as many views as it should.
I know, yeah.
But I think that one was like the most active shoot just because we were running all over that house.
Yeah.
But the one I'm a little sad because there are, I guess, hidden episodes now. that I guess won't be seen for a while.
Okay.
So there's one episode where we got the cycle of hate, and it was a big like plot point for my character, and it's a dual bike, like a front and two rider bicycle, and Rod is like, yeah, this is gonna be your thing this entire season. You're just gonna ride this bike with Matt, and I'm gonna ride on the handlebars. I'm like, cool. So I do all the fucking work. I pump up the tires and everything. We get on the bike, and we're recording it. We're doing the 2001 Space Odyssey as the garage is lifting up, and we take 2 pumps of the bicycle, and the front tire just folds.
Yeah, that was unbelievable.
Oh my god.
Could have been timed better. Could have been timed better.
Oh my god. And especially with the writing process. Like I know Rod's been doing a lot of episodes, but for you guys, like I'm sure what was your contribution to each episode?
Well, even see, that's again the funny thing is like when me and Rod really tell people that this is Rod's brainchild, that
Yeah.
that Rod is really the mastermind behind the haters. And as much as me and Mel contribute, and he'll never. Oh, it's my turtle there in the like, my turtle chilling out. Yeah, I'm trying not to keep the turtle in the stream. Turtle's private, but just but it's one of those things where this is Rod's brainchild. It's something where like we like he said it earlier, we wholly trust in.
Yeah.
Implicitly, we trust in Rod, as not just as friends, but as the leader of the haters. And that's why when we refer to him as the leader, we really mean it. And like, so with me and Mel, it is one of the, for me, and we show up and we're there to do our job, and it's like Mel, like every time we would show up, it would, like Rod would send us the script of what we needed to do and kind of go over our lines and whatever. But we would show up and Rod's like, yeah, what do you want us to do? How do you want us to deliver it? How do you want us to go? And of course it is me and Mel acting in the characters that we got more familiar, with stuff too, and added our own stuff, but really ultimately it's all 100% Rod, from like, the look of our characters to like how he wanted us to even talk and be, and things like that. So it's 100% him. Yeah.
Rod wanted my catchphrase to be "Y'all be good now." Like,
Okay.
just like the most Aunt Jemima catchphrase of all time, and I'm just like, you know what? Everything else you've given me is work. Might as well just kind of keep rolling with it. Y'all be good now.
Rod just says things in like our chemistry, the chemistry we had as friends prior was great, and then when we got to really know each other, not just as friends and doing the show, but then as the characters themselves, and then being able to really feed off of each other and do things like that really helped a lot. Like our improv.
A few moments later.
Here, someone's shirt.
Oh.
So, jumping into like when you got to play Drain's Fire.
Oh, dude, it was really important for me. Because when we were all training, Inspire was like the show, right? And the thing that people don't understand about Inspire AD is that it's been around for it's been around for like 12 years, 11 years, and it has maintained its place as the show in Texas. At least in my eyes, I think creatively it's really powerful. I think it makes stars out of people, and once you make it that Inspire, you start wrestling elsewhere, right? But for us, I mean, at least for me, I don't know if I can speak for them. It was a long time coming. We had tried to get on Fire for a long time, and we never thought we would. To be honest, there was a point where we were just like,
Truth.
Fuck it, like, let's do our own thing. Let's and let's see what happens. I think once we started to like say we didn't want it, it started to come to fruition for us. So it was very, very amazing. And I was telling the boys at our last show when we got into the ring, they started throwing streamers for us.
Yeah.
And that was a moment because Matt and I, and probably not Mel, he wasn't training at the time. We used to clean the streamers after the matches or before the match, and we used to clean the streamers. And there was one time a wrestler out on the mic and said, graduates clean trainees clean the streamers. And so we're cleaning. And he's like, the future of Texas wrestling, y'all. and then being in the ring and feeling the streamers for the first time, I was like, holy shit, And so it was really wonderful.
Yeah. And I'm gonna bring this up. Like, do you guys remember your favorite match as Peter?
Bro, we got some fucking bangers, dude.
We do.
There's a lot of there's a lot of matches where I'm just like, oh my god, we did that, and there was something weird in each one. Have you already asked them? Am I hogging the?
No, you're fine.
Ready question.
Oh, okay, cool. Okay, well, I'm last because I'm the.
Okay, that makes sense. Total sense. And he's the jefe.
When Matt, since you're the first one in the call, you go.
Okay. Definitely, as in hater matches as a whole, I definitely have to say when we wrestled the premiere, that was definitely one that I'm very proud of that we did, and especially because it was one of the first matches where we really began to we had been wrestling, of course, but we really came into our own. It felt like we were it's like we hit a moment where it's like we were breaking through a ceiling just to climb higher, because we did that match, and it was just. And at the time, when you're in a match, you have errors and things like that might happen, or little hangups and stuff. But then you see it, the chemistry, the flow, how it went, people's reactions, and the support that it gets, and it's just like wow. And it was, and it was just an amazing match to wrestle like a talented group of those guys too. That was great. Yeah. So that's probably one of my favorites. And then of course, I'm always going to bring up the Sam Stackhouse Phil Noir. Luigi Primo match. That's one of my favorites for sure too. It was fun.
Mine's probably the one where I got shot.
What?
Yes.
What died. You know shot?
Ain't you that shit?
Yeah. What?
Go on.
Well, don't describe it.
No, we can't mess it up for him. He's got.
Okay. I'll change my answer then. Especially my last match, because that was fun. And I felt all the love from the crowd.
Oh my god.
No spoilers. Well, then I died. But the last one, it meant a lot for Matt and Rod to be there, and not to mention Palmer. He's an Inspire legend, a Texas legend, if that, and he's his reach is farther than most people know. So to have him be a part of it meant a lot.
Me. So what was the bucket that stood out for you at least? And what was the one that stands out for you?
Of the match? Or
yes.
Probably when Rod called the fact that I wasn't going to land that second Destino.
I knew it.
He called it.
I knew it. They were practicing it, and I was like, he's not going to hit that during the match, dude. I was like,
I hit it once. I hit the first one.
That's going to be the part where he messes up.
I hit the first one.
Yeah, I was like, okay, cool. And then literally, I'm concussed on the canvas with Palmer, right? I'm laying next to Palmer, and he's about to do it, and I go, here he goes. And he messes up. And he messes up, and I tell Palmer, I said, I fucking called it, wait. And he's like, thank God I didn't put money on it. Like, God. I've been wrestling with him for 8 years. Ew.
In all seriousness, it was probably just actually being in front of the crowd saying, goodbye before Danny kicked me in the balls. Like, I felt all that love,
Fuck, Daddy.
Please, I'm upset. It's not that too, and I'm like, man. And I was like, we just send off now with a low blow.
Man, one of them that's up there is Born Here Civil War One.
Ooh,
That's a good one, dude. We had to face each other just in a triple threat, and it was awesome, man. It was really fun. Yeah.
Was that during like the Captain America Civil War around that time, or was that like something that's cash?
No. We call it Civil War One because, like, in Avengers they fight each other. So, it was. I believe it was at.
bastards don't get Christmas presents too.
That's right. So at Inspire they did a show at the Yellow Jacket, and we were there, and we also did like it's the three of us deciding where to eat after the show, and the way we decided is whoever wins.
Still mad we didn't get Waffle House.
Hey, I got a chicken sandwich chant.
So, and I asked this with the Rod and asked you with Matt. How has humor, go hand in hand in wrestling for you guys?
Like the humor in wrestling, I know there are a lot of people in wrestling that have feelings about humor being interjected into wrestling and how certain people approach it, even how we approach it. We've definitely butted heads with certain people and other things about like how we wanted things to be structured just to kind of like so we can, and I'm sure Rod will emphasize it even better than I could, but we never want to try to take away from anything that somebody else is known for or capable of, or things like that. We always try to build our humor and things around to keep people looking the way they want to be respected and looked, but so we can still do our shtick and our thing as well. So for me, it's just, and honestly, I had to get better at the humor. Being humorous was always natural for me, just, but being humorous while wrestling was different, the timing and stuff like that, because it is just theater with action. And not only is it theater with action, but at the same time you're improving, and right. So that's, so for me, it's been a journey, but I really enjoy the aspect of humor in wrestling. I think it's something where, yes, you can have your serious wrestling that's like, like two warriors going at it. Everybody wants to see the blood, whatever it may be. But, you got to have people like us in wrestling. You got to have people like us who are willing to be goofy and show that side of ourselves, but also be capable workers. Without us, it's like there's no smiles in wrestling. That's what it seems like.
For me, I'm not really the funny guy. As Ron can tell you, I'm the least funniest member of the group. It's more of a timing thing, like I try my best to keep up with Rod and Matt's timing so I can at least, if I can't be a part of the joke, I can be a butt of the joke, or I can get ahead of the joke and be like, but at the same time, there's a lot of people who believe in the three reactions of wrestling, and it's the ooh, ah, and oh shit. Instead of the three reactions, I think the haters have added that haha as the fourth reaction. Because like, no matter what Rod says, no matter what Matt does, because he's gonna throw a motherfucker and then smile at the end of the match. And no matter what I do, because I'm just gonna be the blackest one in the match. Like our job is to get a reaction at the end of the day. And as long as we get a haha, ooh, ah, or oh shit, we did our job. And that's the thing to me,
Yeah, exactly.
It was very difficult at first to establish to these two that they didn't to try. But once we started just being ourselves, it's naturally entertaining. A lot of guys in wrestling, they're like, oh, I got to be tough guy number 7, or, oh my God. The stupidest shit is when they're like, oh, my character's a brawler, and my character this kind of guy. And there's such a misunderstanding of where characterization comes from in wrestling, and that's why we excel, because we've decided, like, a lot of Born Heroes matches are fucking hilarious. Some of them are sad. Some of them are like intense,
Sure.
right? Because we're multifaceted, because we haven't said, oh, here is our character, that is what we do, right? We've more so been, these are the people we are, and this is how we would react to these situations. And the humor comes in the variances of the responses of the three of us. The way Mel would respond to something is very different. The way Matt would respond to something is very different. And the way Don Rodrigo would respond to something. And the extra layer is that Rodrigo's going to force them to go his way, even though the two of them would do it a completely different way.
But for you know, like, especially going away to North Carolina, you looking forward to in a new environment like that.
I'm honestly looking forward to kind of doing what Ron has tried to teach me in this past like 2-3 year period. Just be comfortable being myself, like not being a character, just being me, you know. And to stop doing backflips. That's also like the thing that I'm looking forward to is just kind of showing the North Carolina brand of wrestling our version of Texas's brand of wrestling.
Right.
And, you know, trying to make my name out there and hopefully coming back to Texas and being like, hey, I made it up there, but I'm back home, you know?
And I was thinking for Rod and for Matt, having Matt Palmer, and you mentioned that I think it was before the recording that, you know, somebody's established and inspired. What are you guys looking forward to now that he's part of Painters?
For me, I mean, it's a definite bonus. I mean, of course, Mel leaving is just like, it hurts. You know, I'm not even gonna lie. We've bled, we've sweat, just everything together. So we've been through a hell of a lot together as a trio, and to make this machine work. And so to watch Mel go, it's like, I'm so happy for him. But at the end of the day, I wish I still had my Mel next to me, you know, that kind of thing. But to have someone like Matt Palmer willing to join us with just the amount of knowledge he brings and the type of matches he's been in, the people he's worked and everything like that, even just the way he perceives wrestling and the storytelling of wrestling and things like that. I'm very excited to have, you know, someone like that join us and to help us kind of like, you know, even step up our own game, you know, because I personally feel that way with someone, you know, I mean, I can say I've been doing this however long I've been doing it, but Matt Palmer is Matt Palmer. And to have someone like that join us, it's a clear answer for me that it's time to like even step my own game up, you know, because it's just, I want to take everything he's willing to show, possibly teach whatever, and then also increase my own status and me and Rod and the haters, you know, and everything, and do everything to make that ship go even as far as it can, you know. So yeah, so I'm pumped.
Yeah, what a fucking upgrade. I love Mel. Okay, Mel's super cool. That's the equivalent of today dropping in the woods and getting
Don't be
drunk.
hurt, Mel. Don't do that. What are you doing?
We just got drunk. Like, people don't understand who we bag. Like, they're just like, oh, it's Palmer. Like, he's really cool. Like, he's really good. People are. He is the original John Cena of Inspire. He is, but he's better than John Cena. Can I call out on a limb there, dude?
It's all yours.
Go for it.
John Cena. He has so much to teach, because I've been leading for a long time, and I've had to like make it up as I go. But here's a guy who kind of guide me, you know, and be mentor. Because I can tell him what I'm trying to accomplish, and he can be like, "Well, here's the way I've done it," right? And he has a lot of that really help. He doesn't backflip and miss. He's a good placeholder. Hurry the fuck up and come back.
Something for you guys, like, and we're gonna close the conversation. And Rod did before, but I'm gonna make a different twist on Washington. And you guys are meeting the Born Eaters for the first time. But as you're forming this faction, if you were in the same room with them, what would you guys like to talk to them about?
Oh, yeah, that's a deep one right there. Oof. But it's if I were to talk to the Born Haters as a whole, and even just directly to myself more than then, I would certainly be like, have more faith in yourself. You know, have more faith in what you can do and what you can accomplish, and don't feel so pressured by all of these like new situations you're going to be involved in. You know, because you've kind of, it took a long time. I'd be like, it took a long time for me to realize that I earned my place among certain people and in those locker rooms, and to know that like that I could rub my elbows with those people, you know, the shoulders with those people and everything like that. So I would just say, don't pressure yourself so much, you know, because it can hinder your creativity, and just let it happen. Like Rod said earlier, I would be like, be yourself, be your natural selves, and things will fall in line, you know, like that's all I'd had to do. So that's all I could say is just don't put so much pressure on yourself, and just have fun, have the most fun you can do, because that's all we've ever done, you know, and it's worked.
Mine would be I'd look at Mel from 3-4 years ago and be like, don't think, trust Rod, be black. That's all I would say.
Solid.
Yeah, I would definitely talk to myself and say, hey man, don't invest hours and hours and thousands of dollars on Mel. He's gonna fucking dick. So like oh yeah. Oh shit, cool. All that, yeah, good stuff.
So I'm continuing this conversation, but before we end this, I want to show this to Mel. And this is the second episode where I can give something from an Inspire show. The first one was Kiefer. It's a t-shirt from Battle Wars from a few months ago. Here's the second one because I still have one thing that I have from a match that you did. I wonder what this is.
Yes.
So you want to explain this, and I'll tell you something once you've finished your own thing. But what is this?
That's a memento from my favorite Haters match. I wasn't even part of it. It was Rod, and he shot me. Well, technically, Studstash shot me.
Yeah,
and I died. And Rod, being the gracious, generous leader that he is, threw me a memorial service, and I felt all the love from Inspire, all my friends and family in the crowd. Well, I didn't have family, but you know what I mean.
Close to what he said.
Yes. And surprise, surprise, Rod actually made those on the way to the show. Because he came up with that idea the day of the show. He was just like, hey, I'm going to shoot you and you're going to die. Cool. And we rode to the show.
It's an impromptu church.
I know. I remember them showing up and Rod just having this bag full of these things. Like, Matt, you're going to be handing these out. Okay.
I'm gonna find your side now, Rob. What was your crowd?
Yeah, I couldn't fucking find church fans in bulk. But we could get 2 hours to make it to Austin, and so we stopped at like a Michael's or something. And I just assembled because I wanted nice church because my best friend was dying, and you know, he wasn't at church because he was going to Inspire. So yeah, we just had to make them. It's funny that you kept it. I didn't know anybody.
I was being mementos in matching. This is the second instance from I can't keep this to myself. Then Mel, we'll talk after the episode. I will mail this to you. He said, This is some people. This is a piece of Austin that you'll be with you when you hit up North Carolina. So we'll talk after the episode. I'll mail this to you. So you have a piece of Austin and never lie.
Honestly, I'm surprised you kept it. I'm just not.
I know.
Like I think everything else. There's no way. One.
But with other lines, yeah, nothing left to give. I'm cheering up. This was the episode for me. But for Matt, for Mel, and for Rod, where can you guys find you?
Yeah, definitely look for our Facebook, Born Haters. You know, of course, me, Matt the Wrestler, also Instagram, Matt the Wrestler, and all that, and Born Haters on Instagram as well. And also any bookers. If anybody want to see this, want to email us for bookings? If you want to holler at us, get the haters on your show, let us know. Definitely check us out. It's on our social media and everything right there. Yep.
You can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at Mel5KKKKK. That was the right location. Yeah, that's right. And also follow me on Facebook at Mel Civic, because Facebook doesn't like my spelling. So that's MELLFIVEK, because I can't repeat letters for some reason.
I'm back.
Yeah, my turn. Find Don Rodrigo on all the socials. Mira, if you're on League of Legends, my name is Rod will carry you. Okay. If you're on Overwatch, it's Rod like BAM, all caps. If you're on Street Fighter 6, it's Rod with 2 Ds. Okay.